Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Divine Fash Clothing, the unique design, and this is the video tutorial for our new pattern, the coins bag. The bag comes in two sizes, big size and medium size, and this is the tutorial for the medium size, and the two they are the same procedure but different size. You can see these are all my tester mix. You can see the beautiful bags, fit for coins and royalty. Please share, like and subscribe. Now come along for the tutorial. On the wrong side of my two front design panel, I mark a line 1/2, which is 1.2 centimeter. I added my glue to the mark line and I fold in the edges. I fold in the edges to meet the line that I've marked. I cut out the area that poke up while I fold. I transfer my logo placement on the pattern piece to the right side of one panel. And I attach my logo to the placement mark. And I place the two panel wrong side together. I clip and I sew with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter, only at the cuff side. And I will set this aside for now. I take my front panel and two of my lower panel, a set of mirror panel, and on the wrong side of my lower panel, I mark out line 1/2, which is 1.2 centimeter at the cuff area on the lower panels. I added my glue to the mark line and I fold in the edges wrong side together around the cuff accents. I cut out the area that poke up while I fold on the two panel. I lined up straight edges with main panels. Accents is right side up and my main is also right side up. I clip, I line up straight edges with the main panel. Accent is right side up and main is right side up by the two sides of my front panel at the lower part. And I top stitch on the lower panel cuff area with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeters. I flip the piece to the wrong side and I cut away excess from the top stitch at the back side of the lower panel, at the cuff side where I top stitch. I repeat the same step to my back panel and the two remaining lower panel. I fold in my front panel to 2 equal parts to notch the middle, both the top and the bottom. I also try to get the middle of the webbing, both top and bottom, and I align the edges of the webbing to the top and bottom edges of the front panel, straight and centered. I clip and I top stitch the webbing long length. I top stitch at the webbing long length with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. I align the top edges of the front design panel to the top edges of the webbing on the front panel, straight and center. I also align the bottom edges of my upper panel to the top edges of the front panel, right side together, and I sew with 3/8 seam allowance, which is 0.9 centimeter seam allowance. I cut out the excess to reduce bulky and easy sewing. I flipped on the wrong side of the piece. I turn the piece raw edges to the upper panel. I top stitch on the seams with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter on the right side. I repeat the same step for my back panel and my upper panel. I take my zipper overlay and place it on the back zipper window, wrong side together, and I sew around the outside with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. Make sure that the back zipper window and that of overlay align. The two should align. I place one back zipper pocket lining right side up, and I place my zipper tape of 9 inches 22.6 centimeter zipper tape right side up on top of it and match the top edge, and I sew with 1/4 centimeter, which is 0.6 centimeter at the top edges. I've already inserted my zipper pull to my zipper tape. I sew the other edges of the zipper tape to the remaining back zipper pocket lining, top edges same as above. The lining is right side together and the zipper tape is right side up. Don't be confused, the lining I'm using, the two sides can be used as the right side. It does not have a wrong side. So if you see me using the black side as the wrong side at the other stage, don't be confused. On the wrong side of the pocket lining, I open away from the zipper, and I place my back zipper pocket window over the zipper right side up and center, and I sew the entire way around the zipper window with 1/8 seam allowance, 0.3 centimeter. I flip the piece to the wrong side and I match the pocket lining together and sew the pocket lining from one side to the bottom and up to the other side with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. I sew on the two sides of the pocket lining, also at the bottom. And I trim off the excess at the bottom of the lining. We are done with our back zipper pocket, and I'm going to set it aside for now. On the wrong side of the 4 connector panel, I mark a line of 1/2 which is 1.2 centimeter around the edges except the flat top. I fold in the edges to meet the line mark around the panel by adding double-sided tape or glue to the mark line. I use glue instead, but you can use double-sided tape. I cut out the area that poke up while I fold. And I fold. I inserted my D-ring. And I fold at 3/4, which is 1.9 centimeter, and I clip. On the right side of my back panel, I transfer my connector placement from the pattern piece to the exterior. Line up the pattern piece with the seams of the back panel and upper panel for placement. I place the connector on the line placement and I sew around the two connectors with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. I repeat the steps for the front panel and the remaining connectors. On the wrong side of my base panel, at the two long side, I mark out my seam allowance line, which is 3/8 on the wrong side of my base panel. I place the edges of my base panel on the bottom edges of my back panel, right side together, and I sew with 3/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. I sew on the line which I've already marked, which is my seam allowance line. I repeat the step for my front panel and the remaining edges of my base panel. On the wrong side of the piece, I turn both raw edges to the base panel. I turn the both raw edges to the base panel and I clip. On the right side, I will top stitch on the base panel with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeters. The wrong side of the piece, I mark a line of 3/4, which is 1.9 centimeter, all around the exterior. I added my glue to the mark line and I fold in the other edges to meet the line that I have marked. Trim out all joining seams by the side for easy sewing. I trim out all the joining seams by the side for easy sewing so that it will reduce a bulky area. You can use double-sided tape. You can add double-sided tape to the mark line. I use glue instead. I trim out the excess that poke up while I fold. On the right side of the base panel, I transfer my back feet placement from the pattern piece to the exterior and I mark with erasable marking pen. I punch the area where I have marked and I attach my back feet to the exterior. I will set the piece aside for now. On the wrong side of my two side panel, I mark a line 3/4, which is 1.9 centimeter around the panel, and I press in place my interfacing at the center of the line that I've marked. I added glue to the mark line. You can use double-sided tape. and I fold in the edges to meet the line that I've marked and the interfacing. There are two types of side panel on this pattern, one with that and one without that. I use the one without that in this video. You can use the one you are familiar with between the two side panel on the pattern. On my main exterior, I fold in two equal parts to get the middle at the base area, to get the center at the base area. I mark it with erasable marking pen, and I'll also do the same thing for the side panel. I will get the middle of the side panel at the bottom, and I will align the mark area at the center. I will start at the bottom center, then both corners, and then I will clip around, using the piece together around the corner. Now I will sew with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter around the side panel. I will repeat the step for the remaining side panel. And press in place my 3 interfacing, my front interfacing, back and base interfacing. On the wrong side of my handle strap, I mark out a line, a center line down the length of the two handle panel on the wrong side. I added my glue You can use double-sided tape instead of glue, and I fold in the two raw edges to the center down the length. And I will fold in two again. Now the strap will be 3/4, and I will clip. I will fold in two again. I will clip down the length. I will fold again down the length of the handle strap, and I will clip. I will sew with 1/8 seam allowance round the handle panel. And now we affix the handle edges. I will insert it through the D-ring, and I will fold at 1 inches. I fold at 1 inches. I take my plier to punch a hole for the rivet to pass through on the fore handle. the wrong side of my flat panel, I mark a line of 1/2, which is 1.2 centimeter around the panel. I added my glue to the mark line and I fold in the raw edges to meet the line that I've marked. I cut out the area that poked out when I fold. I cut out the area that pokes out. I press in place my flap interfacing panel. I went ahead and transfer my magnetic placement on the interfacing. Also I punch through to the right side of the panel. I place my magnet. I center my magnet to the placement mark and I attach my magnet. I fold into two and I will sew on the right side. The right side is where the magnet is being shown, and I will sew around with 1/8 seam allowance. take my slip pockets, fold into two. I will sew by the two sides with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. I will sew at the two sides with 1/4 seam allowance. I will turn right side out. The lining I use, the two sides can be used whether right side. The lining does not have wrong side, so I can use any of the side as the right side. So I turn out to the right side. I will place my slip pocket binding top edges to the top edges of the slip pockets. I will make sure the two edges align, and I will sew with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. I will fold the raw edges to the binding and fold down the other edges of the binding to the slip pockets. And I will clip to hold down. I will turn the piece to the right side of the binding, and I will sew on the seams with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. I will cut out the excess on the slip pocket binding by the two sides. Now I will take one pocket lining, and on the right side I will place my slip pocket. I will try to find the center of the slip pocket and also notch the middle center of my main lining. I'll place my slip pocket on the lining, leaving 1 inches at the top of the lining, 1 inches above the slip pocket, and I will sew on the slip pocket, starting by the side to the bottom and to the other side with 1/8 seam allowance, which is 0.3 centimeter. Now I place my zipper pocket right side up, and I place my zipper tape right side up on it. I have already insert my zipper pull because I don't want anything that will make me to abandon the bag and come back to it later. I don't want to forget adding my zipper pull to my zipper pocket. I will sew at the top edge with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. Now I will take the remaining lining and place the other edge of the zipper tip right side up on the right side up of the remaining lining, and I will also sew at the top edge with 1/4 seam allowance, same as I did before. Now I will set this aside for now. I will take my remaining lining, open to the right side, and also I will take my zipper pocket overlay, and I will find middle center of my zipper pocket overlay with erasable pen to get the center. I will also do the same thing to the lining. I will notch the middle center of the lining so that I will be able to place the zipper overlay straight and center. I'll place the zipper pocket overlay on the lining, leaving 1 inch above, reaching 1 inch above the zipper pocket overlay on the lining. And I will sew with 1/8 seam allowance at the outer part, at the top edges, at the edges of the zipper pocket overlay. I will use the zipper pocket windows to cut out the same opening on the main lining. Now I will take my zipper pocket, open away to the right side, and I will place my zipper pocket overlay over to the zipper pocket straight and center. And I will sew with 1/8 seam allowance at the window edges. I will sew around at the window edges with 1/8 seam allowance. On the wrong side of the lining, I will match the pockets together, and I will sew by the two sides. I will start the sewing from one side to the bottom and to the other side with 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. Now I will trim off the excess at the bottom of the pocket lining. Now I will place my two lining, one with zipper pocket overlay and one with slit pocket, right side together, and I will sew on the two sides with 3/8 with 0.9 centimeter. I will also sew at the bottom with 3/8 seam allowance. Now I will align the square area together. The center seam, the side center seam and the bottom seams we should align, and I will sew with 1/4 seam allowance. 1/4 seam allowance, which is 0.6 centimeter. I will sew on the other square side. Now I'll take my upper lining panel, and at the top edge I mark out a line of 3/4 at the top edge, which will be my folding line, and on the right side of one of my upper lining I get the middle center, and I marked the center where my magnetic snap will be placed. You can use your pattern piece. You can use the pattern piece for upper lining to get the placement for the magnetic snap, and I will center the magnetic snap on the line I marked. I will take my remaining upper lining and find the center and find the middle center at the edges, at the bottom edges where I did not mark. Now I will take my flap. I will take my flap panel and place the bottom I'll find the center. I'll find the center of the flat panel. And I'll place the two center. I will align the two center, the center of the upper lining and that of the flap at the bottom edges. The magnetic snap will be face down, and I will sew it with 1/8 seam allowance. Now we align the two upper lining right side together, and I will sew by the side. I will sew with 3/8 seam allowance, which is 0.9 centimeter. I've already marked out my seam allowance line. I will sew on the line that I've marked, which is 3/8 seam allowance, 0.9 centimeter. I will sew on the two sides of the upper lining panel. Now I will add my glue to the top edges of the upper lining, which I've marked before, and I will fold in the edges to meet the line that I've marked. I will fold in the edges around the upper lining panel to meet the line I've marked. You can use double-sided tape instead of glue. Now I will take my 4 main zipper plaskets, and at the bottom edge I mark a line of 1/2, which is 1.2 centimeter. I added my glue to the mark line and I fold in the edges to meet the line I have marked on the 4 panel piece.
Now I will take my zipper tape and I will divide it into two, and at the top edge I will mark a line. From the top edge I will mark 1 inch line from the top edge on the zipper tape at the right side. I will mark it with erasable marking pen, and I will pinch that area, and I will fold it towards the zipper tape teeth to form a curve area, and I will use my lighter to burn it together so that it can stay. I will repeat the same thing for the remaining zipper tape. Now I will place one main zipper skirt lining. The folding side will be down, and I will place my zipper tape right side up on it, and I will leave a space of 1/4 at the top edge, and I will place my main zipper skirt exterior on it. I will clip, and I will sew from the top edge. I will sew from the top edge down to the side and down to the side with 1/4 seam allowance. I will turn the zipper right side out. I will turn the zipper right side out. I cut out the seams area to reduce bulky. I will take to my machine, and I will sew on the bottom part where I fold. From there I will sew to the top edges. I will sew from the bottom where I fold to the zipper side and to the top edges with 1/8 seam allowance. I will repeat step for the remaining zipper placement and the zipper tip. You can see I've done with it, and I will find the center of the zipper placement. I will notch the center of the zipper placement. Take my main lining. I will place the notch, the center notch of the main lining and that of zipper placement. I will align them together at the edge, and I will sew with 1 seam allowance. I will sew on the zipper placement together with the line 1/4 seam allowance. I will repeat the same thing for the other edge of the main line, that of zipper placement. I will take my upper panel and I will align the bottom edges of my upper panel. Align the bottom edges, the center where I notch, align it to the center of the line and that of the zipper placement. I align the bottom edges of my upper panel and to the top edges of my main lining. I will clip my upper lining around to that of my main lining top edges. I'll make sure that the sew center aligned. I'll make sure that the center seam and that of the main lining, the center seam of the upper panel and that of the lining align. And I will sew around with 1/4 seam allowance. I go on the wrong side with 1 seam allowance. The lining and the upper lining, they are tied together. I'm done with sewing. If you like, you can stop stitch. You can stop stitch on the right side of the upper line or right sides of the seams. Now I will insert my lining into the side of my exterior. I will make sure that the center of the side and the center of the lining align. I will sew around at the top edge and it seam allowance. In at the top edge and my zipper pull and my zip end zipper tip. Finally, the coins ready. This size I use the medium size video tutorial, and I size pattern for the pattern. Oh, can see the